My brother, it has been way too long. I'm trying to get back to the screen so I can actually see you.
Okay.
Crown Jones, how
Yeah,
are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Bro, I'm good. I'm good. I'm so glad to finally get to do this, dude.
Yeah,
It's been way too long. Way too long.
way slow.
how you been, man? How you been?
I've been doing good, man. I've been doing good. Just I took a break from music, then I came back, then I came back again, and here we are. How
Yeah,
about
I
you?
mean, you didn't take no break. You've been building your skills up, coming back as a sensei. I know what you're doing.
Oh man, that's
um,
exactly
it-
what it is.
yeah, bro, it was crazy because I was talking to Domo at it was like 3 in the morning, and because Domo is like basically one of my senseis,
Yeah,
and he was just like, bro, you just it's just make music, and you basically are your own sensei now. You go ahead and do the shit, and
yeah,
it's just like it's crazy how time flies, the XP stacks, and then you start realizing like, oh shit, I can do this shit myself. You get
for
that
real.
confidence. You get that confidence.
Yeah.
How has your adventure been? Like bro, there's so much. So just bro, yeah, how has your adventure been treating you?
It's been pretty good. The last time I remember that me and you actually saw each other, like we stayed about 8 years ago. Since then, a lot of changes, a lot of moving, but a lot of musical influences. I
Yeah,
got introduced to like different types of music, like vaporwave, chill hop, lo-fi, stuff
yeah,
like that. I got experience with different type of singers. So it's just like my overall taste in music since back then has changed. Because back when we met, I was very much a traditional Southern, like all I listened to was like Houston music, Dallas music, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And then my ears got open to like more things, but still keeping that southern groove with it, if that makes sense. So it's like
yeah.
that's basically what it's been these last 8 years.
Bro, that's basically what happened with me with D&D. Like when we was in high school, we had this folder full of like D&D and UK liquid based drum and bass music.
Mm-hmm.
And like it just started you hearing that other stuff, you start embedding your original, I guess your roots or sound to it, and it feels really good. It feels really good to see those other horizons, man. Vaporwave was something else. Just seeing like the Simpsons, the Simpsons get like as much hype as they get with
Yeah.
some cool beats and shit. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, that's exactly. I know. Weren't you in Cali?
I was in Cali for a minute. I was in a relationship slash marriage. It didn't work out. So
Yeah,
like, but the time I was out there was amazing. I was out there for a full year, and I met like some industry people. Nothing like led to anything big, but it was just the fact that I got to like rub elbows with some of these people, pick their brain. And the secret to success is pretty much just keep working at it. That's really what
yeah,
it is. Everyone told me it's about who you know and how hard you work. That's really what it
yep.
is.
Dude,
It's
I've been learning that.
yeah.
I've been learning that just from with this podcast, just with anything, bro. Like it's crazy how it's just as simple as just do the work. Shut up and just do the work.
Yeah.
Back about Cali, like I really enjoyed my time in Cali. However, when I first got there, because I was only there for I believe 2 weeks or a week and a half, and I
Mhm.
was there for I went to this one music event, and it was just crazy because there was a story there where because I learned they were dead serious about like the colors, bro. I can't go out there wearing this. Like
Mhm.
it is dead serious over there. I had a red backpack, and my folks they sent me immediately to Walmart to go get another bag when I got there. But point is California was really dope.
Mhm.
And the culture, I was just surprised because I had only seen that kind of stuff in the movies, but to see it actually in person, for the locals to actually say something like a Crip will be in his scrubs, he'll jack you like from work,
It's
from
it's
being a
re-
nurse.
it's real, man. I remember I used to drive Lyft out there. So I was all on Crenshaw, I was in Compton, I was like all these
Yeah,
places driving Lyft. And I remember one night it was real late. I was dropping somebody off in the neighborhood. It looked rough, but I ain't never seen anyone hanging bananas outside of their car. They had the blue bandanas on the left side of the car. I cannot make that up. It was wild.
bro.
And it's just one of those places where if you don't mess with nobody, they don't mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty what it is. They don't like no one ever just looks out for trouble. It's not like that. Like they stereotype on TV. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going. If you walk in the wrong place, it's like you disrespect them. Yeah, but if you just a person walking by, it's not like what you think. It's not that crazy out there. It's only when people disrespectful though.
Yeah. But I live in the fantasy of Kendrick is solving all of that with togetherness. That's that's the fantasy that I'm living in right now, and I'm hoping that fantasy is true.
And there's a lot of gentrification, especially like in some Compton areas that I noticed. It's wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the crazy part though is because like part of it's like there's gentrification, but then there's also you want the kind of the blend. It's like a weird dance because like I know a lot of those areas are shut off to themselves. They've been that way forever, kind of like some places here in Texas. But it's it's a balance to all of that shit. You're just trying to find the proper way to introduce somebody into a neighborhood, not trying to come in there and take over everybody's life.
Exactly. Can't have
let's see, I was gonna ask you about like there's so much to talk about. Like there's levels on levels on levels of crap. Like your sound has just you've leveled up completely. I still have tracks on my old laptop died, but I still have files, like stuff that I was supposed to work on with you. I still have stuff. And it's just crazy. But like hearing your sound now, the beats you make, you up there giving people ideas, the mono with the hats, that was beautiful because I was sitting there trying to figure out exactly why, because I know there's standards, but then at the same time, it's like you kind of do what the hell you want at the end of the day, but like why? Explain the whole mono hats thing.
So as far as the mono hats thing, it's like I watch a lot of old school mixing tutorials and new school, so I like watch a lot of stuff that was like mixed in the 80s. Domino actually put me up on one of those videos. Actually, it was called the art of mixing, right?
Yeah, so I got
like
that.
In reaction, like if you go on YouTube and watch it, there's like a whole lot of other videos related. So I watch how they kind of mix different things. But what happens is like within the spacing of the mix, when it's like mono, it's like a single thing. It's like a single entity versus everything in stereo and everything spread out. So it's like when I visually see it, it's like it's not spread out, so I have more room for the vocals. I have more room for the other instruments. And I noticed it was like by mistake how I like figured that part out, because every other time I did everything else to the hi-hats that I explained, as far as putting like a light phaser or like a flanger effect, because like when you just put just a flanger effect, each one hits different each time it hits, right? Then I found out about like the Panomatic, just having it pan left and right, and depending on the beat, the speed that it goes and how much it goes, it adds like a more satisfying effect. But when I added the mono with all of that together, it really made it like more distinct. But it's like you got to be careful when you use that, because in certain hats it doesn't sound the best. Some of them don't sound as good because it's like the stereo frequencies or whatever you want to call it. That's where the good part is. But some of them, it's like those more abrasive, like you know what I'm saying. Like if I recorded my own, like on a pan or something like that with a stick in a pan, that'll sound good there.
Do you make your own drums?
I wasn't supposed to say nothing, but I've been working on a little bit.
Good, bro. Yeah. So the crazy part about that is, as a beginner, it's like your mind doesn't necessarily think that way. You're just like, can I just get as many sample packs as I can to keep flowing? But then you start, bro. There was something stupid, like there was a dog barking and he hit his its bowl and there was water in it, so it hit like this weird sound, and I was just like, man, can I get him to recreate that so I can record that and just put that in there and just use that as a kick drum? Like it's crazy. It's crazy about that. I didn't want to give my special move out, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So like, are you familiar with Naruto?
Yeah, a little bit, just surface level.
Is it enough to know that he uses shadow clones and he uses Rasengan all the time?
I heard about the shadow clones. I have no idea what Rasengan is. I'm not gonna front of you.
It's his Kamehameha basically. And so I always tell people, my shadow clone and Rasengan is distortion and flanger. Like currently my style at the moment is if I want to fill the space up, and if I want to be simple, quick, and fast, I will distort and flanger and switch it up and everything. But that just seems to analyze and amplify where I need to. Like that's my style right now, and it's just it works. It fucking makes everything pop. So like the mono hats, I've been trying it out. It's cool. It is pretty solid. It is pretty solid. But I know that the other thing that I wanted to do is just like, you know, how if you wanted to go and recreate an old school beat from back in the 60s, you put your drums over here, you put
Yeah.
your piano over here, you know, just still letting yourself be loose.
Mm-hmm. That's something I've been experimenting with like a little bit, because like I want to incorporate that with like a new style to see what it sounds like. Because it's like a lot of ideas I've had. Because basically, we can't really create nothing new under the sun. We can just repurpose what's here, and that's what I do. That's what the book I was telling you about is about. It's just helping people to like be creative. But one of the tips and tricks in there is like recording your own drums, because it's like some stuff you just can't duplicate. Like you can only buy so many drum packs. You know, you can only so many things, and if everybody else is buying the same stuff you buying, the beats are going to sound like, you know. But if you have secret sauce, like for you said saturation and distortion, right?
Yeah, well, distortion and flanger.
Distortion and flanger. For me, it's chorus and reverb. Like that's what I use. But you know, those still kind of 80s type things in a way, if that makes sense. Like heavy on that, you know? Like if you listen to Prince, like his drums on his albums, those drums have flanger on them. You know what I mean? That reverb and stuff like that. So it's like I take stuff from back then, I try to put something new. But yeah, I'll be interested to hear what you make if you make a beat like that, or a song like that rather.
Yeah. Well, shoot, bro. I'll definitely shoot you a link. Like what's crazy to me is the concept of both flanger, the concept of both reverb, and how they had to make that shit on hand back in the day. That always just makes me sit there and go, I'm so glad that we're here, but at the same time, just thinking how cool that would be to be the man in there. Hey, man, I'm gonna echo this shit this way, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm always amazed by the past because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it threw me off because like they would do something where they would take like a water hose and like a funnel, and they would record whatever the sound was. They recorded through one way, and it would come out the other with another microphone. So that confuses me, but I believe that was supposed to be like a delay effect or something like that. Then they would at the same time. So it's like I'm learning about weird ways to record, but with like low budget, so I can share this with other producers, you know, coming up. Because it's like for me and you, I wish they had like a tool like this so we could have thought outside the box like that. Like you saying, like the dog barking and the bowl of water, the way it hit. Like that's like something I think about too. There are a lot of noises we hear in our everyday that would sound so dope in beats if someone just took some time to record it, you know? Like I see what you're saying.
Bro, also YouTube. Like, cause that's the other thing. There's so many people just recording random shit. You could take that. Like there was a little like a car that hit it clipped and hit something, and it started going and it just sounds like you take that, bro. You can just like it's just you can do anything. That's basically what you're trying to tell people. You can do anything.
I literally, because like it's in the book, it's a chapter called, I call it a mode. It's called natural noting. And then meditation noting is like when you're like noting the emotion versus experiencing it. You just noting what it is. If you hear a sound, you're just noting. And I call it natural noting. So it's like, for example, in the book, I talk about when I used to work at Amazon at the warehouse, I work in the sorting department. So like I would get like a box, I would open up and I would scan it and I would sort it or whatever, right? So one day they had like a group of new hires and I was in there and they was like, nah, bro, we got to train these people, go to that old machine. Everything was kind of busted and dusty. And when I tried to do the scan, instead of it going like a ding, it's a like that or whatever. And I was like, as soon as I heard it, like I had a 10-hour shift, like within the first 30 minutes I did that. I was like, I'm gonna put this in a beat. I'm gonna recreate it. And because it hit like a snare that you would hear on like either like the Yeezy album or something you would hear from like Travis Scott. You know what I'm saying? It was like the way the sound hit. And I went home, I was like, how would I recreate this? And I was like, I need the source sound. So I did find like a good snare. And I was like, it had like a delay sound to it, but it wasn't like a lot of reverb. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like, just like
I know what you mean. I follow you.
Yeah, that's been that's something that I encourage a lot of producers to do because that creates creativity. And the point is to get over beat blocking. When you hit that creativity, you hear that dog bowl or you hear that broken scanner at your 9 to 5, and you get home next week. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I worked a 10-hour shift and I was still up for another like 3 or 4 hours when I got home because it was just in my head and I had to create it then and there. But that's
Bro, that's that right there. So two things. One, first, it makes you kind of want to. It's just like you have a reason to go out and experience things. I know people that like to stay in the house. That's your reason to find more things to make you want to make more shit. Secondly, when you were talking about pulling from the book the first time, I was like, "What book?" But now I realize it, and this is the perfect time to actually go into that. What made you want to make a book?
So I've always had a passion for helping people. I feel like that's one of my spiritual gifts is helping people. But specifically, I wanted to write something that could help people with something I knew, whether it be like customer service skills, dealing with mental depression, stuff like that, or music. And I was like, well, what's something that I know for sure? What's something that I have at least 10 to 15 years experience with, like half of my life, right? And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, producing. But what specifically? And I was like, what could I have given my 15-year-old self at 31? Like, what would I have liked to get? And I was like, oh, a guide to producing like ideas, because creative block, you know what I mean? And so like they have a saying, there's 50 ways to create a record, and I'm providing 51 ways. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's the inspiration. I just wanted to like inspire people so they don't have to feel that they have to always copycat other people. And like there's a lot to being authentic within yourself. Like the stuff you create, for instance, it's like I wouldn't even know how to start creating what you create. And that's good because it's not, your style is not easy to copy. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the cool part. I first off, I like what you're doing. Primarily the way that I function is just in a random state because like you saw that from that one live stream I did. I just kind of just sit there. Like there's different styles I go about it. Like if I want to get really emotional into a song and devote an hour plus to it, I'll do that. But if I just want to just give myself stuff to work with later, bust out the piano, start just going through and just feeling it, just getting there and just like pow. And all I have to say is I love that there's a source for people because like I was trying to explain to my homie V's, my brother V's, and because I had the music background with just I was in the orchestra and played guitar and stuff. So I knew about chords. I know how violins can do vibrato. Since I know that certain thing, I can recreate it myself in weird ways normally. But people don't know those things. So you have to explain it to them. And I guess all that to say is like how many chapters are in your book? And if you were like to go down the list to just say what they're generally about, what would you say? Well, yeah, it's not a what would you say? You know this.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there were chapters per se. I call them more modes. Like, you know, think of it like this is a mode or a method rather. 51 methods of how to do it. So some maybe like 3 or 4 chapters. One, I think not 3 or 4 chapters, 3 or 4 pages. One could be like, you know, a brief paragraph. But for some of them, I'm literally having like a video tutorial. I know people have different DAWs or whatnot, but I'm going to be using FL Studio 20 to show them. So for instance, one of them, I start off real simple, basic stuff like reversing. It seems simple, but everyone doesn't think to reverse. Or some people don't know how to reverse. You know what I mean? Because I know for me, I could not figure it out when I first started. I think I started producing in 2006, 7. But I would hear people, this is way before like Drake was the wave with reversing, before 40 and all that, right? So I was like, how do I do it? Because I would try to put it in a pattern like that or whatever. And I couldn't figure out how to time it. I didn't know how to stretch. And it's like, what I'm going to do is go through and show people like the dynamics of like reversing. So here, this is how you reverse a sample loop. Or this is how you export a melody, bounce it out, or do a mix down, and then reverse. Or this is how you take like a drum, reverse it to like ramp up. Or this is how you do a reverse 808 sound effect. You know what I mean? Like different stuff to like spark creativity, because reversing doesn't always have to be something in the basic beat. It can be, I call it like anomaly. So, you know, some they have that one thing that stands out. Like if you heard the soundtrack to Black Panther, there's a group from, I believe, Oakland who rapped with Kendrick on this one song. I think it's SOB. I can't ever remember the acronym, but they like this dope like younger group, like aggressive group. And one of the songs they have, it just like breaks down for only like I think 4 bars on this other beat, then it goes right back to the beat. But that stood out. So like when it comes to like reversing, I want people to like use something like that. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Let's see what else. I'm just trying to think of like what else. So natural noting, as we stated earlier, like you hear something out and about. It wasn't just the scanner that I heard. Like I also hear birds crowing, like a call sound. And depending on the bird, sometimes I hear a sound I haven't heard before. And that could become a chant. Instead of yeah, ho, you hear ah! You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bruh, or I'll just hear like the most obscure, like just little stuff, bro. I remember I was at like a dentist appointment or doctor's appointment, something. I was in there and somebody's little kid was making this weird like screaming noise. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's like a dope ass like transition to a beat, like rah! Or something like that, you know? So it's stuff like that, but it's like also teaching people there is the point of the book too is to let someone know here's 51 ways when you create, you know, you got beat block, try this, try this, try this. And it's also different. It kind of goes into different modes in my personal life. Like times I was working 2 jobs, 2 9. I was working from 9 to 5. Well, not 9 to 5, but you know what I'm saying, 9 to 5 and 1, have an hour or 2 break, and then like I did a 10-hour shift at the warehouse for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I could, as much as those 80 hours per week that I was able to do, but I still wanted to do music. So what I would have to do is I would like record myself. You know, I would go to the restroom, on my way to the restroom, record myself on a break real quick, take my phone, record like a beat idea. You know, I go into that, how to break down.
Bro, it's crazy.
Like
it's crazy because I do the same shit. I do the same shit. Bro, I dropped the I dropped the double 9 to 5s, or I dropped the second job because at first I was doing that because it was kind of like one of those situations where it's like, oh, make more money. Why not? If you're not like doing your shit all the time, make more money. And then I started thinking, why am I doing that when I can devote that extra time to the things that I like to do, the music, the building, the connection, this. And bro, I'll be at work, a tune will just come because I stopped listening to my iPod because music just always happens in my head. So it's just one of those things where it's just like there's tunes, and I'll just have to bust out the little recorder. So you can save it for later, bro. I'm glad you're bro. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Because I don't know how many people. I don't even, you know, it's just one of those things. You might not have came across the time to even think about that, but if you can put that in their face and open their minds even more, just think what happens from that. But me interrupting you, carry on, sir.
Oh, it's all good. that touches to something else. Like you brought a good point. Because a lot of this stuff seemed common sense, but I have to realize, like, this is like since, like I said, 2006, 2007, of random experiences happened to me. And I write about where I got it from. If I can remember, if it was an interview that I saw on YouTube, I put it in the book. If I remember who the person is, I put their name. If I can't remember, I just say, hey, it was some guy I saw on here, some interview. But every story, I say, hey, this is where I got it from, or if I feel like I created it. I know I didn't, you know, we don't ever really create anything. It's just how we stumbled upon the method. And it's crazy because like something you just said was like it's not in people's faces, you know what I'm saying? And that's true because a lot of people starting out, their mind might be like, hey, I want money. And what a lot of people don't understand is the people who really get money and keep money, they have a gift and they keep doing that gift and they get rewarded for that gift. They get compensated for the gift. It starts off with you enjoying what you love to do and then going from there. That's why I'm not trying to sell the book for nothing like crazy, you know, like that, just like a few dollars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the main thing is I want people to come back to me and be like, hey, bro, you really helped me, you know, with this, and that, you know? Because I met producers who were doing like, you know how producers do like live rooms and stuff like that?
Yeah.
The live chat rooms that they co-produce together. Like one of them told me like Metro Boomin used to be in there. Like, you know, taking notes, as you know, stuff like that. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, he just take notes. But that's the thing. It's not about who's been producing the longest. It's more about who uses their resources the best. And that's what I'm trying to teach people. Because for me, I feel more rewarded if I'm teaching someone something than for me to just, you know, make a bunch of money off of something. Because money doesn't motivate me. The only reason I produce stuff for money is just for bills and living, you know. But it's just really
exactly
that human experience of someone like growing and doing what they got to do to see their vision come to light, and understanding there's always hope. There's always like a silver lining.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that energy. That's pretty much the energy I try to push forth because shit, you touched on the money thing. Like, bro, if it weren't, I always say it like this: I just want enough to where I can do what the hell I want. Basically, that's pretty much what it is. I want to be able to get up and just, if I want to go teach somebody today, if I want to go sit in the room and play guitar all day, I want to be able to control that. That's just, I feel that. I feel that completely. Let's see. You were the last thing you I'm trying to think. The last thing you talked about before that, when you were talking about the book, you were talking about, believe it's. I'm trying to think before we went, because this part was on a part in the book, but then there was a part you were keeping to like a flow going over, like I guess sections of the book in per se.
Okay, yeah, most definitely. So it's like I say, it's like 51 things, and it's just like a lot lining out. I mean, outline. But I go into things like it's a difference between collabing with another producer and collabing with a singer-songwriter. It's two different things, because sometimes a singer-songwriter also produces, sometimes they don't. And me learning how to work with them, because like my music theory is in tune of I used to be in the drum line in high school. I played the bass drum. So my whole thing started off with percussion, as far as like what I was knowing, like different rudiments, things like that. But as far as that, everything else was self-taught music theory wise. So when I go to like a singer who have all these like technical things, like I was like, oh, that's called what? You know, I don't know what it's called. I know how to do it. I know how to produce it. You know, it was like a different experience. And when someone breaks stuff down like that, it like opened up my mind to even more, like, because when I produce, it's a visual thing for me. Like I don't necessarily see colors, but I picture a beat. Like, just imagine like it's a suit, right? The beat is the suit. You know what I'm saying? But the flanger, the saturation, that's the cufflinks. You feel me? The reverb,
Okay,
high. You know what I'm saying? And it's just
that's cool. That's a cool way to look at it.
That's the way I see it, right? And so I try to dress it up. And you know, we live in a world where people are just taking stock and just taking like loops and parts and stuff, and not putting their individuality. I don't knock people for sampling. Hip hop was based off of sampling, in my opinion. I don't knock people for that. But the thing is, it's like if you really just slapping some drums or something and saying you just like a genius, I don't like that. I like when people go in and they put their spin on it. That's what I like. You know, I want you to be able to take the sample from the beat and you still got like a fire beat or something, you know, new. I actually go over that in the book too. So all this stuff I'm saying is in the book, but it's like,
bro, that's what's up.
Story. It's a different story. Majority of like where I found it, how it helped me, and how it got me out beat block and what I created. And if I could find a beat that I made from that, I'll show it, I'll share it. But if I can't, what I'm doing for like certain examples is I'm showing them like live time. Because again, the videos, there are going to be videos from certain chapters that will come in that will show them exactly what I have going on.
Bro, that's beautiful. I can't wait to embark on that book. There's many things reversing alone. I haven't reversed since like intro saying, like that was the time when I did that because I was in there just experimenting. And there's been, I want to learn how to reverse correctly.
Real quick, not to interrupt, before I forget this, I just remember something. When I was talking about the reverses, there was one more thing I wanted to say. Someone taught, well, it was a sad mistake, basically. I had played them beat and they said, that's stupid. I was like, people reverse stuff all the time. This literally was a conversation in the year 2020 when I sent a producer something. He said he never heard anyone reverse something in the beat. And I was like, you haven't heard of Missy Elliott? You haven't heard of what? You know what I'm saying? But he said it sounded demonic. And then when I thought about it, I was like, oh, you shouldn't just reverse any beat. If you reverse it, you need to kind of take certain chords and align it a certain way so it gets better. But that's just the main point I want to say real quick.
Well, shoot, I mean, just going into that, because that whole concept of like reversing it is demonic. I don't even know where the hell that came from. I wish I could get where the hell that came from. People, that always bothers. I'm not walking under that ladder. That's bad luck. Nah.
Where I think it came from, and again, I don't know if this is true, but when you said that, this kind of popped in my head. I think in the 70s, the mid to late 70s, I believe there was like someone trying to sell more records. So they started that rumor around like teenagers. So the teenagers would buy more records and reverse it to hear
Mm.
stuff like I think it was a marketing ploy. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I believe it was. We have to
That
fact
sounds
check.
about right. That sounds American.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was, and people bought into it so much that they started actually putting stuff in the songs later. It was like, it wasn't like the idea came after it happened, if that makes sense. They really did start putting like subliminals in their music.
Yeah, yeah, and but there's so many tracks that utilize that so well. You just mentioned the Missy Elliott one. I don't even know what she is. Well, I know what she says, but it's basically what she says before that. Flip it down and reverse it, and then yeah.
I was like, she literally flipped it down and reversed it. Because when I looked at the lyrics, I was like, this woman is literally saying these lyrics backwards and reversed or whatever. It
Yeah.
was. I was like, that is genius. I mean, I did not learn that until like 4 years ago. That's what it really was when I looked at the lyrics. So my whole life, I just thought she was just saying gibberish.
I forgot what that's called, where you say something in a song and you actually do it, but I love that shit. I don't know, forgot what it's called. There was someone, I think it's the Hallelujah song, but they do it kind of simple. It's like the third, the fifth, where they basically talk about what they're playing on the piano, and then it's just little stuff like chop it. So you go chop, chop, chop it, and it's just like I like that. I like that. Anything about utilizing the story, telling the story, being the story, all of that. I love that kind of stuff. It just makes my ADD go.
It's funny. I didn't know that was a thing. I did not know this thing. My first album, I think I told you about my first album. I collabed with a songwriter. It didn't go as well as I wanted to because we didn't know what we were doing, but it was a great experience. But I had produced the whole thing, and one of the songs I said clap, clap, clap as I played the clap. I didn't know that was a thing. So that's the only time I heard that whole song. I said clap, 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 and I had boom. You know, I had got that from Timberland, you know, as far as influence, but as far as it having a term, I didn't know that. I definitely want to hear more of it.
Hold on, let me see. Is V's here? Because my homie that V's is like, he normally sits in the chair, and yeah, V's is here. V's is here. Badass. V's, if you can. Hey, what's good? V's, this is Crown Jones. This is my good homie from Arnetic in the Cliff, man. He's a great homie.
Yeah,
He's
I
a great
remember those
homie.
days.
And
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Bro, could you please pull up the term? I forgot what it's called. It's when you do a sound effect and you actually do it in a song. Because I want to know what the hell it is, so I can stop calling it the thing that you do that does music.
I'm trying to find it, and if I find it, then I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. But bro, like I love that shit. Like I don't know what it is, but I don't know, it just entertains me. It's taking your creativity on another level. And because bro, I wish I could remember the song. There's a song where someone basically does something. He switches to like it's a different note. It's a different note. They do something. Oh, it's like it wasn't minor, and then they go to a minor, or it's like they say this is minor, and they go to a minor, and I thought that was just like that kind of stuff right there, bro. It just makes me whoo.
Oh, I have a concept that I want you to do one day because I know I'm probably not going to execute this for a while.
Let me hear
I
it.
feel like you're a project-based person, but it's basically starting a song off in one key, and each song that goes, it gradually goes into another key, like that, right?
Wait, explain it.
So you know you have like the regular keys, you have C through G or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I think I said that correctly.
No, it's C through E. C through E.
C3. So you know you have like the keys, right? So what I'm saying is you go through each one, you go through the minor. So by the time you go to the last song, if you play it right after, it's like this progressively going through all the keys of the of a piano like that. And I noticed I've heard that before because I always wonder why some albums just play smooth, but it's because they're like in relative keys next to each other. So not only that, but also having the album be at the same tempo. Don't make it feel like it's at the same tempo, but have it be in the same tempo. Those two things alone will like unify. It'll be like glue for like an album. Because I've been thinking about that for a while, but I'm like executing. I'm just like, and it's like I literally realized that you could take one sample and make 12 different songs, and they all sound different, but still make the sample so you can recognize it.
That's a cool way to go about it too. Another similar thing that I want to do. There's a project that I'm just gonna say there's a project in my list of projects called Speed, and literally it's about a man who likes to race his car, and it's gonna start off at a slow tempo, and by the end I want him to be going as fast as possible. So the concept is to start off slow, amp it up, and just by the end of it, it's just want it to be
okay.
So I like that concept, and what I need to do is honestly, because I like tying it to story. That's what happened, bro. Like you remember when it first started off, I was up there, I dropped the foundation and I was ready to drop another project after that. But then I wanted to make a comic that went along with it. And that was a whole thing as well. And then it just started amping up and amping up. So now that's like kind of the thing. Like when I make music, I want to put a story with it. So like I'm like my head's already going like there's so much you could do with that. You could make something called a spectrum and then utilize you playing on the keys like that. But
that's in the book too.
What do you mean? I mean, I know you don't want to tell your whole book, but you know what? You're here now. You're here now.
It goes into a similar process, but it's kind of reversed. I'm not gonna give too much. You're right. I won't tell the whole book, but it kind of
nah.
If a producer listening who doesn't know my book, like I want you to do this anyway. So it's like you kind of. I'm not gonna give the whole theory away or the method I use, but it's similar. But instead of making the beat first, you choose the story first and make the beat to the story. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. That's a cool way to go about it. I like that. I like that concept because it just, if you go into it with a mindset, basically forgive me because pretty much what happens is I'm probably going to tell the concept right. I'll talk about it.
Good. Go ahead.
But yeah, like what ends up happening is you go into it with that mindset, and then you just shift the vision. Like you start looking for things. There was one song where I wanted raindrops, so I looked for a higher note. I shortened the sounds of it so it can be like doop, 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 doop. And it's just like you do that. And it's like your mind is now in a different mode, so you can create the billing that you want even more.
Yeah, I like that.
Am I touching? It's kind of in the same area.
No, not in the perspective. So that's good. Different. I mean, that's good because everything that I wrote was more perspective of things like I had actually done. If that makes sense. And when I write, when people read it, or whoever like talk, about it to me. Hopefully they'll be like, oh, bro, actually I saw this here. Or they'll be like, I never heard this before. Or they'll be like, well, this is how I do it. Because the thing is, I just want to start conversation. But it's all things that I've experienced that I did. Literally times where I had beat block and I just couldn't think about stuff. Either like with times of depression, times when I just didn't feel like it. But it's like inspiration everywhere. But I like that idea you just had. I never thought about doing that.
What's your beat block moments? Did you... Like, what's the worst beat block moment that you've had?
The worst beat block, I was in like a relationship, and it was a very taxing. And you know me, if you remember, I was probably doing like 5 beats a day, if not 5 beats a week or something.
You was on your Kanye 5 beats a day for a summer.
3 songs or whatever it's called. Yeah. And for a full calendar year, I only made 5 beats. So that was the worst year I've ever had. I
know boy, I have a folder because what I do each year, I start a folder and I make a new one. Except for this year, I got a new style that I'm going with. But before that, I would just make a folder for each year. And I think it was 2019 or 2018. It was 2018, had to be. It was shit, bro. I think I left that year with only 17 beats made. Only 17.
2018 was the same year, bro. Yeah, 2018. That was the year. Trash. And the stuff I was producing was trash. I don't even like to call stuff trash, but garbage. Trash. Like it was not hitting on anything. Like, you know, some beats you could repurpose them and stuff or whatever, but it was more like, nah. And cause
I keep them hoes too.
I like what I would do too. Like I was so busy because the thing was too. I was in the relationship I was in, but I was working hard. I had like a full-time job, and I was doing Lyft as much as I could, driving like Uber basically outside that job. This is when I was in LA, and so the beats I did have or whatever from Texas were too old. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, like, it wasn't like pop, but because of what I knew I could do and all the new stuff I learned, but I only made like a few beats, and this was before I figured out how to utilize loops, how to use certain VSTs. So my sounds were outdated. So I will be driving, different people in LA playing these beats. And it was like, man, that 808 go hard. But then everything else is trash. They would tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it sounded like they go like dee. I was like, oh. And so like, but that was my motivation. Like once I got back to Texas, I was like, you know what? I am great at drums. I can get better at drums and melody or whatever. So that whole year, it just caused that next year for me to work like 3 times as hard.
That's hard. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I had learned quality over quantity. And that's something else that is something I'm going to teach within the book, how I got faster at producing certain types of beats or whatever, and how you get faster. Because the truth is, if a lot of these producers want to be in the industry, everyone doesn't have time to be in the studio for 5 hours. Some of them may only have a 2-hour block. And some of these artists are difficult. I don't know if you watch your interview, some of them can be challenging and difficult where they don't want something you already have. They want a fresh beat.
Yeah.
And they want to write to it or whatever and record and leave with a track within that 2 to 4 hour window. So it's like, if you're a producer, that's a lot of pressure. So it's like, I had taught myself how to think on the fly. I don't believe in taking shortcuts. I just believe in working smart.
That's actually, my grandpa had a saying. It was don't work harder, work smarter. And I think a lot of people say that. And I'm a dumbass. But anyway, like I guess for me, I think bro, I do a lot of stuff inefficiently. My energy kind of just, it's like it works for me. I don't recommend people doing what I do. But like touching on that a little bit more, because when I was talking to you earlier, I was talking to an artist, and like COVID has kind of put this in a situation where people are utilizing virtual reality a little bit more. It used to be, no, I'm gonna come see you, where you use things like Discord. You can sit there with a person, sing a song online with them, go back and forth. And I'm just, from what these last couple of like weeks have been progressive for me, I'm liking this style of like kind of building the song with a person right then and there. Because there's a chick, she's working on music, and she's kind of like singing it as she goes. What that does, it gives me the opportunity to build the beat in my head to it. And like normally I would just be like, hey, here's my stock, check this stuff out if you like something. But there's some power to hearing somebody do it, then you go sit down and try to make it, because then it's automatically what you're doing. And actually that's a cool thing, because since you know more music than I do, actually, speaking of that, thank you, because I remember back when whatever years I was selling beats, like you helped me learn more on contracts. That was from your doing. You're the reason I know that kind of shit. So thank you again. But what was I touching on? I just lost myself in a train of thought. But what the hell was I talking about? God dang it.
I did the same thing. But you were talking about like different types of music. You were talking about working with singers, virtual reality, and you said versus you giving someone like a stock of music, like here, find something you like.
Yeah,
you could actually play on the keys while she's talking to you or singing and building at the same time. That's what you were touching on.
Okay, so I'm still lost, but it's all good. But yeah.
I do the same thing all the time. It'll be like, I'll be right there. I'm like, oh, this is the best words ever said. Then I forget what I'm saying. I'm like, oh.
Bro, I hate that shit so much. But back to your I guess your beat block. Like, when did you, because of course it's in the book, you discovered how you killed your beat block. Is there anything significant that you did to find yourself to basically make music again?
there were literally 51 different ways for me to start. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally, it wasn't just one thing. That's what I'm like, everybody's different. That's why I took time to make sure I got 51 different ways of what you can do. And they're specific because at each time, like, because you can imagine like a court, like that's, I mean, if we say just I've been making beats since 2005, 6, somewhere in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's enough time up to this point to, 2021. It's reasonable for me to say I've had beat block at least 50 times, right? It's reasonable.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's only so many type of reasons, you know what I'm saying? Like one was like I didn't have enough time because I was working, One was like I was in a demanding relationship, like, she needed attention type stuff. So it's like whatever. Sometimes it may be like a death in the family. Sometimes it may be, your equipment is crappy, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe you're supposed to be working with somebody, so you're not giving your beats all the attention. Or, sometimes I dibble and dabble on the artist side while I rap or whatever, right? So it's like a lot of different things that can happen. And so I was like, let me sit down and write this book to help somebody. Because my goal is always to help 5 to 10 people. No matter what I do, even if it does go large scale, if I know for sure, even with my my Instagram, I got like 700 followers right now. I have a solid 15 to 20 people who I know I really affected well. And we talk. It's not just about music, but it's about their growth. Like some people having like life-changing surgery. Some people, they having like relationship issues. Some people, they having issues with work or they were sick, but they all produce music. So we talk about those real life experiences, how you could work through those challenges, things like that. But when I realized I could just put this all in one place and just have this sent to people, and people want to have like that personal business relationship with me later, they can. But I'm like, let me put this in people's hands. So it's pretty much, it wasn't one single time frame that it was just, this is what I'm gonna do for beat block for the rest of my life. It's just been multiple times it's happened. And the more things I built, the more my creativity went. And this is not in the book. I should have put this in there. But one of the things is too, if you are depressed, that's the best time to make some depressing ass music. Like I'm just being, you know what I'm saying? If you just had like a job loss, somebody died, like, hey, I've had all that happen to me. What I do, I get in the studio, do them lyrics or whatever. They're like, this is sad. Yes, I know. But did you feel it? Yes, it's a great song. But that's the thing though, when you have that emotion overpowering, you're not thinking too much of the technicalities, You was like, did I mix this just right? Is that enough reverb? Is that -6 dB? You don't give a fuck. You fucking depressed. But that shit gonna sound good. That feel gonna sound good,
Exactly.
You with your significant other, you've been talking to her a little bit. The first time y'all had sex, y'all made love and stuff. You leave that, you be like, all right, I'll see you later. You go home, you feel good, you're on a high. You're gonna make that into a beat, you know what I'm saying? And it's just those experiences though. So it's not just one single time that made me be like, this is what I do for beat block. It's just multiple methods to encourage people. Like there's hope out there. There's a lot of stuff that you can do, and hopefully somebody will come up with 51 more. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Now that's gonna be you, bro. You gotta drop a sequel to the book. You gotta do this again. 51 more reasons to kill a beat block. Even more reasons. That's what you call it.
What's your excuse now? You got 102. You got 102 Dalmatians, 102 ways.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. That's how you do it. That's what is your process for writing a book?
Oh my god, it's a headache. So I'm one of those people. I treat the book like a college essay, if that makes sense. It's like you kind of have a rough idea. It's not due to a certain time. You kind of have a rough idea. You kind of sketch something out. So I did like a half-ass sketch of like, I think almost a little over a month ago, wrote like one chapter. Then like, now I need to get on my shit. So like if you saw like the previews of what I'm doing, I had revamped the original title page. I had the cover of the book. Yeah. And then I really like put, time into and wrote it. But my whole thing is just thinking about the subjects. I went through and I picked all 51 categories. And then for each one, I could expand each one easily 20 pages. But I thought about each person may not have that time. And I know me, I was like, I ain't about to read all that shit. Like, I want to make a beat, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I want to make a beat. So what I'm about to do, that's why I was like, let me not make it that many pages because everybody ain't got time for all that. So what I did is I thought about the ideas, I did an outline, and for each one, the book it's like a little mini story of my situation, how I got to it, or a potential situation. Sometimes it's not me talking about my story. It could be like, hey, this may happen to you. It's normal. Don't worry about it. This is what you can do. And then I go into like the different the ideas. And sometimes it's like real short, or sometimes it goes to me expanding within words, or it expands in words. And I'm like, go reference this video. It'll say video 1A, perhaps. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, so there's like 51 chapters. I say there's probably like half as many videos, and each video will go into the flow of each thing enough where someone could grasp it. And, you know, of course, if anyone else needs, you know, further explanation, they can reach out to me for free. I don't care. I'm here to help. But that's the organization of the book. It took me a while to get that format down or how I was going to do it because it could be overwhelming, you know?
So the reason I even asked, well, of course I want to know, but I was also going to share it because, I mean, I feel like everybody has the potential to do it. You just got to commit to something simple as keep a journal.
Yes.
And like, because I would think with all those moments happening, you kept the journal. You would sit there like, oh snap, and you would jot it down, and that's how you pull your shit together. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's kind of like the basis of it, right?
To an extent, for me, it was different. It was more like I knew I had it, but it was battling the imposter syndrome because I just feel like it's going to be that one person out there who like, well, everyone says that. Of course, that's common sense. Or that's wrong, you know? Like the other day, I put on one of my posts to pan the kick. And like two people was like, we are the beat overlords. You cannot pan the kick. You are going to hell. Like that's how I felt, right? We're going to beat hell. We're revoking your Fruity Loop license. You know, you know. So that's what I had in my head. So like, as far as that, it's all make believe. You know, everyone has their opinion. Do I want people to pan their kicks all the time? No. But is it unusual? And if you listen to different genres of music, like overseas, do they do that shit? Yes. You know, in the old days, like we said at the beginning of the conversation, people would pan the drums to the left and the music to the right. So it's like it can be done. It's not conventional.
And that was because of the time. You know, they have everybody in the studio.
Yeah.
And then we record the live thing. But what if you want to recreate that? What if you want to recreate that? That's up to you. That's why I like when you give a technical standard, but at the same time you still remind people, yo, just be creative and try some shit. Like I'm waiting on your number one rule, 51st rule, because I got a feeling it's gonna be something like go out there and be creative.
It's not like it's just going to put everything together. Because like hopefully, because like as far as the videos, it was very time consuming. Again, it doesn't drop until next month. So the videos I got a little bit more time on. But it's like with those, I want to do like a comprehensive video of taking a majority of everything I did and putting it in one beat. Like I start with a basic beat, right? And then like I just have like a basic beat. I'm like, all right, let's apply what we've learned to this beat, everything as much as we can. And then see someone like see the visualization of that transforming, be like, damn, you know, I could flip my whole beat library at this point, you know, which is the purpose. Like you want people to be able to flip stuff. You want people to be able to think and not even. And what I mentioned too in the book too is a majority of like my thinking came from when I was in film school. I went to the Art Institute of Dallas and I took different classes. You can't teach people creativity. You can't really teach people how to think, but you can, you know, give motivation. You can inspire them. So that's what art school did for me, inspired me. So when I think about certain things, the same thing I apply to beats, I can apply to poetry because I write poetry too, low key. The same thing I apply to poetry, I can apply to writing. The same thing I apply to writing, I can apply to directing. The same thing with that, I apply to motivation speaking. So it's like, it's just not about beats. It's just thinking outside the box or using what you have around you to create something better. Because that's what it's really about. We just want these producers coming out the gate to be different, to create something better. If I pick 20 random producers who just started within the last year, I want all 20 of them to sound totally different. You know what I mean? I want that Pokemon trainer energy, that Ash Ketchum energy. You know, you fresh, but you tell bright-eyed, you know, I'm about to catch them all. Like, I need that. I don't want 15 carbon copies of the same person. You feel me?
I feel that. Actually, that's a joke I was talking about with you seen those. Okay, so it was like in the 2000s. There was and this is a random tangent, but I'm saying it because it's a joke on my fucking mind. Like in the movies, they would have the kids and they would always sound the same. Like they would be, it's like they took all the little black kids and said, you need to talk proper and you got to make sure you talk in a higher voice. And they'll sit there and go like, Daddy, I want some juice. And like that always bothered me, bro. I hated that shit. Why can't this kid have more identity? Look, you know, damn kids, like, give me your fucking crayons. Like, let's just, those are kids. That's real life.
Yeah, they have that typecast for kids. Like, she Willikers. You know, I know what you're talking about. They all have that same role. You know, you'll see like on Disney Channel movies, they make that big ass breakfast, but they only grab one piece of toast and head out the door and shit.
Exactly.
I'm like, realistically, like, how long did it take their mama to make that breakfast? Because that was a full ass spread.
Bro,
do the dishes. She gotta go to work in a minute. She about to do all them damn dishes, put all it up.
Somebody getting punched in the chest after that.
The neighbors can't. Like, that's funny though. I like that. That's funny. But yeah, to answer your question, the last chapter is not about, you know, go be creative. It's just more about like put everything together. You know what I'm saying? Put everything together, apply it to something, take what you got to apply it. Because my goal, not only help 5 to 10 people, but I want people to come back and talk to me about the book. Whether they hate it, they love it, they indifferent. I just want some conversation going, because when you generate conversation, it's going to be one person somewhere witnessing the conversation, because hopefully these conversations will be like under like the actual me promoting the book. People comment like, I read the book, it was trash, or I read the book, it was great, whatever. Yeah. Someone is going to see that, whether they comment, because I used to be one of those people. I don't know about you. I would lurk, like, you know, the like top producers, top rappers. I would just lurk on conversations, YouTube comments, just to get out and see, you know, well, what do people like? And it took me a long time. Like, no one's going to like everything, but I did get inspired by so much that these people would do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel so. It's like everybody know that you like when the bass hits. Like, I can't think of anybody that's gonna say, nah, I don't like. Okay, I take it back. There was this one gent I met. He said some weird shit like he don't like music, like he just doesn't like music, and I think he was probably pulling somebody's leg. But the thing is like, I don't know those people, but you know what? Now I got to see if I can meet somebody that's like that. But but like, you know, it's like there's different things, like there are different standards. Nobody wants to hear you hit the piano all at one time if it's not a scary movie. You know, it's just I feel it. There are standards, and you feel it when you feel it. Another question, since you brought up going to the Art Institute, were you planning? Are you planning on like sneaking out a movie on somebody eventually?
Yes, actually, I'm working on some skits and stuff with an actor right now.
I've seen your skits.
A group of some people within the Dallas area. I started back writing low key. I'll call it short form skits for right now, which are gonna be like 10 to 15 minute skits. You know. Yeah. And it just depends on this actor I'm working with, because he lives in Los Angeles, but with everything shut down there, he came back here to Dallas, so he lives in both places. So it just really depends, because he's the main person, but I found other people too. But yes, and then somebody approached me to like help direct one of their films. It's supposed to be like an old school type, you know, like the drugs, guns type film. You know what I'm talking about? Like a hood film, but like with like a modern day twist, like. I forgot how they explain it, but it's going to be something like that, but they wanted me to direct it. I said, yeah, sure, why not? But yeah, it's in the works. It's in the works.
Have you had any experience with directing anything so far?
Yeah, actually the guy who wanted me to do it, I like directed a music video back then. And in college, I directed some stuff. And I think I directed another music video and just like small little skits here and there.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it wasn't like direct, like immediate directing. It was more of me going back and post when people edit stuff and giving them ideas of their edit. Just like, you know, if someone had made a song or whatever, and me going and give them engineering ideas at that point, like post-production directing, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
So of course, like everybody, I want my hand in that field as well. So far, the only thing I've done is I've been those characters that always seems to die in the show. Like there's some skits we used to do back when we was in Den, and I remember it. It was a couple of them. Yeah, I think I got killed off in a couple. And basically, what would happen when I got killed? I think I would go work on the music for the show or whatever the hell we were doing. So, but
Damn.
it's fun. It's like I don't know. Like I don't know. I kind of like that Quentin Tarantino shit where you like you're in the movie just to get killed. I don't know. I kind of like that. But but bro, that sounds dope. I saw your there was one where you were doing like an old man. It
Oh, you
hit.
talking
It was
about the pastor?
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, bro, how you doing, brother? Hey, bro.
Yeah,
We've
bro.
been 5 years, but I've been at this church since 1969, Mount Hermon off on BC 5th and Western. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Bullshit. But it was funny though. Like I love the character, but it's like people was like, "Did that hurt your voice?" I was like, "No." But it looks better because I have the filter,
Yeah.
have the gray beard and the wrinkles.
Bro, that's actually the technology. Like the fact that you can do shit like that today makes it so much easier. No makeup if you don't want to.
So I just put a filter on real quick. He like an old ass, I am old ass man, brother. So you gotta be careful when you play stuff, do stuff like that. Because I'm not like an actor. I just see funny shit and like I just know how to replicate. I know what angles to do. I know how to edit, so it just works out. But my ass like was doing a skit one day in that voice, and like I could not stop talking like that for some reason. It was weird. It was kind of like Dexter's Laboratory where he was listening to that Omelette du Fromage. You remember that? That little
Bro, I don't remember. No. Yeah, because he was doing like
he was listening to like he was trying to learn French or whatever in his sleep, but it kept skipping. It kept skipping on the record player. So the next day he kept talking about Omelette du Fromage like the whole day because it's all he knew. He could not say anything else.
I remember it. Omelette du Fromage.
Yeah. But yeah.
So I also saw you were doing like you're doing a lot of stuff, bro. Like I saw the health blog. I saw like there's just so much stuff. What all do you have your hand in?
Damn, it's a lot. That's why I had to prioritize. I was like, okay, so it's the book first, and then it's the skits or the beat kit, drum kit second. I'm not sure yet, but I have been working on a drum kit for a while. I had sent the beat. I don't know. Did I send you a copy of it? I don't remember.
No. Wait. If not, just send it again or I'll check. Because
Okay.
I know you sent me something recently.
I don't remember. Right? I don't remember. I think, or it could have been something else. But I had made a beat kit and I did a beta test where I was like, here's what it sounds like. I need some feedback. How is it working for you? Any trouble or whatever? And like I sent it to like say 10 people and like 5 of them got back to me, of course. You know how it is. So 5 got back to me and I was like, I don't like this beat kit. I feel like it was rushed. Because what I did is I took my favorite sounds that I use for most of my beats and I tailored them even more to me. So instead of me just exporting the drum the way it is, I export it the way I do it. Like little stuff. Like some of my drums, I put like a delay or I widen the drum a little bit and I pan it a little bit. So instead of me exporting center, I export it exactly how I would do that drum. Or like my 808s, I like to have them compressed, have them mixed a little bit. Sometimes I mix 2 808s. Like I didn't know other people did that until today. I saw this guy doing a tutorial. I said, "Oh, that's cool." So I'm not the only one who knew how to figure out how to do this. So it's basically when you take the high of one 808 and the low of another one, and you just you EQ it so the high of one stick out the low, whatever, and you just layer it like that. So it hits hard.
I have not done that. No, because I work in a like the way that I currently work is weird. Like I got a bunch of shit, and basically what happens is I build it and then I EQ it and change it when I make it. It's like I have a vast thing to like. I got a vast fucking you know what I mean? I got a vast pool to pull from, and that's why things always come out different because every time I'm making it, I'm throwing my own little touch on it, however I wanted to do it. But that's a cool way to do it because there's so many styles, bro. That's like the other crazy part to this music shit. There's so many styles that you can do. Like I'm just it always, yeah, bro. I'm not surprised. It's just, I'm not surprised that's something you can do. That is so cool, though.
It was just so weird. Like when I say I just like start doing this on my own naturally, because you know so I do sound design too. That's something else I do. I
Mhm.
worked at CW33. It was a show called Newsfix. I worked there
Ah,
before that. I used to do
yeah.
the little wacky sound effects, the fart sounds. I was like the assistant. It was one guy, he was the main sound director. I was like the assistant one. So I would go in and do little wacky sound effects and stuff like that. It was real cool. But I started taking that mindset to my drums. I was like, well, let me take the high of this one and the low of this one. Because I also
Mm.
had to sound design like little mini clips of films or whatever. So I was like, how can I do this to the drums? So that's what I was doing for the drum kit. So the drum kit was supposed to come for the book. Drum kit was supposed to drop back in November.
Mm.
Yeah, I just like, nah, we ain't gonna do it, because it's a prominent producer out here. He's basically my, I guess you call it my guru sensei or whatnot, like my mentor. And you know, I had long discussions, you know, about it with him. He's like, yeah, man, this is the market. You're gonna be competing with subscription based stuff. You're gonna be
Yeah.
competing with this. You know, he gave me like the realistic layout, and I was like, all right, cool. But I always believe in the product. It was a good product. You know, like the book, I believe was a good product. The beat kit
Yeah.
that I had at the time is not there. It's not there. It was mediocre at best. And I was like, I can
Yeah.
make a lot more fire based on all the stuff I know. Especially after writing this book, because the book inspired me again. You know, me thinking about, damn, I was like, I did all this. I know how to do all this. Why am I not here cooking beats every day? What's wrong with me? So, but yeah, to keep going to answer your question, is working on skits, filming. I started a weight loss journey or whatnot. So this is the real deal. I had a trainer
Mhm.
and everything. So I was working both jobs, doing as much as I could between both jobs. Because again, that's 80 hours. It's a lot on the body.
Yeah.
But one of those mornings, one of those evenings, I would be off from one job. So I would wake up early that next morning. 2 of those mornings out of the week, it was like I think a Thursday and a Friday. I only had to work the one job. So I would wake up in the morning and go exercise with the trainer. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Then I would do my regular job, and I'll be off that evening and wake up early the next day and do it again like that. But I end up hurting my knee at when I was working at the warehouse or whatnot. And so I was like, nah, I gotta call out. I didn't like it, you know, because I was already stressed at the job and doing too much. And like you said, why use the extra time just to break your back when you could be working on your craft? That was already in the
Yeah.
back of my head. But I ended up finding I had like arthritis, like really hard, you know, in my knee or whatever. And
Mm.
I was like, crap. So that happened. And then like I just started feeling sick and stuff like that. And I had told my trainer, I said, man, I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna try to do some stuff at home. So like if you could tell, I haven't posted a weight loss video in a long time because things just gradually happened since September-ish. That's when everything started going downhill. Then I actually got COVID. I don't know if you remember
Yeah. I
okay.
remember.
I had COVID in November. And so that's what happened with the weight loss. But I'm getting back into it. I do
Yeah.
know a lot of stuff about health, but I'm just gonna be real. Who the hell gonna listen to a big dude, out of shape dude about eating like thermic, what I'm saying, thermic
The
foods?
story, bro. The journey. That's what it is, bro. It's the
Yeah.
journey. Like, cause most of the time, only people, they want that instant reaction. So they just looking. They wait. Oh, I want to see the big photo, and now I'm Susie. That's fine. Can go out and go kill. Bro, I know how it is. And you know
Yeah.
the crazy part about when it comes to weight loss is it's just the like. I remember when we was in Denton. I picked up to like maybe 225,
Uh,
and then I started running. Okay, I wasn't probably eating right. I just decided that if you eat strawberries, mushrooms, and salad with chicken, and you just do that every day,
mhm,
you'll lose weight. And I was walking. I didn't have a car, and I lost the weight. I got back down to like 185 or 190.
mhm.
But then I moved to Dallas, and I got a car, and now I got to do all that shit again. But yeah, like it's like you can do it. You can.
It's a journey, and that's the thing I understand, because it was like I want to leave all the videos I had on my YouTube up as far as that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna continue, and like just like I told you, I'm gonna give them the story exactly how it happened. I'm like, don't be discouraged, because like just like you said, you lost weight. I've done that 4 times in the last almost 10 years now. In the last 10 years, I've done major weight loss rapidly. Like I'm talking 90 to 100 pounds in a span of 5 months. I did that type of weight loss that fast like 4 or 5 times at the time. One time I was
Yeah.
vegan. One time I was dairy free. One time it was keto. You know what I'm saying? And like my whole thing now is longevity, and that was the purpose of me making it, you know, or whatever. But it was just so many different elements like coming at me at one time. I was like, I need to really structure this journey just in case somebody's following me. I don't want to lead anybody astray. You know what I mean? Because like even with that, I kept getting people who would message me and be like, bro, this is really inspiring. You know, like people who weigh like a fourth of what I weigh, but they still want to be healthy. It's like I taught them a lot of stuff because, like, again, it's like I have all this knowledge. It's just making sure I apply the knowledge. You know what I mean?
And that I like that a lot because even because I always tell myself at the end of the day, even if it's just me, because personally, cause like with the podcast, I think about it like this: it's a journey, and I'm enjoying watching the progress. But I'm also like, there's that other thing when I get to 70. Like if I ever get into a retirement home, this is gonna be the stuff I listen to. And for you, it's also for that person that comes around and it's like, I want something to see something to keep me going. If I watch this person that started in November 2016, find out this person was still doing what they were supposed to do and they're actually seeing progress, like you inspire people. That's exactly what it is. It's inspiration. I think it's, bro, keep doing your shit. Keep doing your shit.
But yeah, it's just like it's like a lot of stuff. So everything you saw, something I'm working on, slowly being into anime and stuff like that, getting slowly into e-commerce. It's like a lot that I do, but the main thing, like you said, is that journal. You know, prioritizing what comes first, prioritizing what happens. Yeah, that's where I'm at though. But yeah, that's all that I have going on right now. Plus some more that it's just too long to list. But yeah, I stay busy.
Good, man. Good. Bro, okay, so I don't want to cut this short but my fucking battery is literally on. Hold on, let me actually get the numbers. Okay. Actually, I'm on like 20, but basically I just gotta let you know. I gotta let you know, like I don't want it to just cut off in the middle. That'll be tacky as hell. But
I got you. No worries. I got you.
Shit. So you rap, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this now because like I haven't done this in a while. What's the last artist that came on? Last artist that came on, I think he already spit before, but I got to do this to you. So I'm gonna need you to drop a freestyle a cappella right now, man. I hot mic him. It's Sway in the morning. It's Sane in the morning, and yeah, man. It's. I know you used to do it because we used to spit bars at Arnetic.
D-SANe8 caught me off the brain. Oh man, I usually rap to a beat, but acapella should be easy, right? Like
it should be, man. So it's poetry.
Okay, so it's poetry in motion, vivid like the ocean. Still coming back, but I'm still with the motion. That's not graphic, it's not tragic, and your face like some traffic. Still going around, but I'm causing a havoc. Not manic, but D-SANe8. Replaying the membrane that was still back, and I'm not delayed the fact that it's off the hook. I got a book. 51 ways to beat block.
Yeah.
And this is a short video. You could call this a TikTok.
All right, bro, you did it.
Oh man, I have not like freestyle like that in forever. And I promise you, like that's another creative thing. Just real quick, I freestyle the beats, and that's how I get even more ideas. I freestyle. I go on Spotify, YouTube, and I just listen to random beats and I freestyle. And based on how my flow go, I'll be like da 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 da, and I'm like, oh, I like. Let me put that in a snare pattern. So that's in the book too. We'll talk about that soon.
Like, bro, last thing I'll leave you with before I like start closing. Like that's like my method for when I'm writing a song is like I'll start off and I'm up here doing the caveman sounds, figuring out the style that I want to use. I'll be in the you know, just you feel it. You feel it first. So why don't you feel it? Why don't you actually go make the feelings for it? Bro, it's been a blast talking to you, dog. I missed you, dude. Like it's been forever. It's been forever, man.
You said Arnetic. I said Arnetic. I forgot the name of the place. It's been that long. I said I forgot.
Boy, it sent you back. It sent you back.
Literally. That's how I met you. One night, I just happened to go out back in 2011 or 12, And it was like that freestyle circle, and that's when we met. I remember that.
Yeah. Bro, they
Wow.
I don't know where those spots are now, but they need to have those spots again. And one day I hope to either be the hand that brings it back or be there when it comes back. But I look forward to that day, man.
Most definitely, bro. Me too, man. Well, keep in touch, bro. I'll be working on the book. Be looking out, like I said, February 21st is dropping, and then like we're gonna go from there.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh yeah, Instagram /Crowne Jones Productions. Crowne Jones Productions.
Yo. All right, bro. You stay easy. Not easy. Nah, stay light. There we go. That's the one I've been saying lately. Stay light and keep it smooth.
All right, bro. Have a good one, man.
Later, man.
All right.